Hello, Aidana.
Hi, Lisa. It's very nice to see you today.
Yes, thank you. The same. I'm really glad that we have an interview now.
Yeah, perfect. I'm also excited to hear your questions and also like to have these conversations. It's very valuable.
I know that you studied in the program Bolshak, so I want to ask you how to get the Bolshak scholarship.
Oh, that's a very good question. I actually don't know if the rules have changed because I applied 2 years ago. So I'm gonna say approximately this is a process. So first you get the list of the universities that are approved by Bolshak. So you cannot apply to random universities; they have to be approved.
I see.
So then you select the universities that like suits you well, like with the programs and stuff like that, and then you apply to that university itself, like individually by yourself. You apply and then you get like this letter of confirmation. Let's say it says like congratulations, you're accepted, or a letter of acceptance, and then with that letter you go to Bolshak office, and then they take your documents. You collect a bunch of documents. It's a huge bureaucracy over there, and then after that you get to pass examinations. So there are like math tests, then the logical test, and then the psychological. Yeah, psychological test. They do that with your like.
What does it ask?
They check if you are strong enough. Like if you are, I don't know, if you're prepared mentally and emotionally to live abroad, to study abroad. So they check like your personality basically, and I think that's a very great thing to do for them. Like because like not everyone is ready in that stage of their life to go by themselves and live there. And then if you get enough of points, you will move on with the interview. You will be scheduled to have an interview with 5 people. They're experts.
Oh, 5?
And, yeah, on Zoom call though. Like,
oh my god.
And then they ask you those like very tricky questions. Like they say like, why do you want to go to the US? Why not Kazakhstan? Or what can you bring to Kazakhstan? Or why should specifically you should be sent, not other people? So you have to be strong enough, and then you have to answer like with no hesitation, like, and show your, I don't know, patriotic side maybe. This was the hardest part, and after that you will probably wait for like 4 months or so, and after that you will receive the like letter that you are approved, that you get the scholarship. And this is the process in general. So you apply to university, go to Bolshak, take the tests, and take the just like have an interview with people. I applied to like I don't know 5 universities. Constantly, I got rejected many times, but still I had this desire to go and study, and in the end luckily I had the scholarship and like managed to do it. So.
Yeah, that's fine because if 10 doors are closed, the 11th door will be opened.
Yeah, I love that quote. Yeah, that's a good quote. That's actually, I also know one thing, like one person says like, in order to hear yes, if you have to hear like, I don't know, 90 no's, you just count. Like you hear a no and you say like, okay, 89 no's left. And then you count, and then the closer you get, the more excited, and then you don't lose the motivation. Like, it's only 10 no's left, and then I hear yes, right? So that's a great thing. I think this is it. It wasn't a hard process, but it was definitely like a long one.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. But then you have to work in Kazakhstan 2 or 3 years, like.
Yeah, exactly. You work for 3 years in like small towns, and then if you go to like Astana, Almaty, Shymkent, it's 5 years for you.
Oh, so you can choose, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. You can choose the place where you want to live or where you want to work. It doesn't matter for them. As soon as it's like government or LLB, if I'm not wrong, like limited something, like it should be a huge organization.
So did you choose to come back here to Ekibastuz?
Yes, because of my parents, I think. Because I was born here, it's my hometown, and also my parents, all my relatives and friends, they are living and working here. So I think I thought it would be like a good time for us to like, I don't know, gather back after 2 years of like being separate. So I decided to stay here and also like to bring my experience to the people. We are basically like a relative with everyone. It's a small town, so you know everyone here. So I think it's also great to be able to like share something that you know or learn there, and basically be like a valuable, bring some value, you know.
Yeah, I think that you are sharing your experience by teaching people
Yeah, true.
in Kainar, in Tsurumi.
I do, yes. I teach English mostly. I teach English at Kainar, and also at Cerny we have speaking class, which you're a member of, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so, and then I also teach entrepreneurship, like startup school for also like school children. And yeah, basically what I'm doing here is teaching, and sometimes I do public speaking, but teaching is better.
By the way, speaking club is every Saturday
Yes.
at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and come here. It's come there. Not here. Not here. Come there. Our speaking club is really funny. Our meetings are really interesting. So Maidana is organizer of the speaking club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's also free, right? It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most like the craziest thing. You just like come and then you still have an opportunity to meet new people who are also learning English. And I think it's a valuable experience for people to connect and network. So I'm glad that we are starting this initiative and that I have people who are like very willing to come and learn and speak English.
What can you advise to people who learn English or maybe some other foreign languages?
Yeah, as I said, so with the speaking club, the most valuable thing that I can bring to people is connecting the process of learning English with something that they really like doing. So maybe you have a hobby, like maybe you have a hobby in sports, let's say, and then if you merge the sports with English, the English becomes to you like less of something that you have to do. It becomes more of a pleasure, since your brain thinks, okay, so I love sports. I used to do sports all the time, and now just I have to talk about sports in English, and it wouldn't become such a burden to you. So the speaking club is useful in that sense. Like you get to talk to people, or to people who have the same interests as you, and the topics are always different, but maybe you can select the one that you like the most. So if you like doing something, please do it with English. In that way, there's more probability for you to learn it. And since languages are super social, it's a social skill that you have. So try to use it in social, or try to learn it in social way, like by talking to people who have the same interests again. Or if you don't have this opportunity, maybe you can adapt your algorithms on social media and watch the videos that you really like, but in English, not in Russian. Watch the memes in English, things like that. So I used to have 5 favorite bloggers from British YouTube. So I really like them. They're funny, they're entertaining, but they spoke English. So it wasn't an obstacle to me. And I was just having fun, but at the same time I was practicing my listening skills at least. So I think it's great to combine something that you like with something that you have to do. So one advice: make English attractive. However you do, it doesn't matter. If it's attractive, you would learn it with a pleasure. And if it's with a pleasure, it means the progress would come.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So you also learned like that, right?
Yeah, of course. What was the most difficult thing in living abroad?
I think generally experience of living abroad, no matter with someone or alone, is generally difficult, and you cannot practice it here while being in your country. So once I arrived, the first difficult thing that hit me was the jet lag. I was sleeping all day. So, okay, I was like, wow, that's a tragedy. But no, it wasn't. Because the more difficult things were waiting for me. So it was adaptation. Talking to people, they are super different. They might be smiling to your face, but actually they are not that friendly. If something happened, they wouldn't help you, but before they were smiling at you and they were asking how are you doing, but in fact they don't actually care,
Our people are more serious.
Exactly. I would prefer seriousness. I think you'd rather I would expect you to hate me, but then you help me. That's better than you smile and then you don't help. So this kind of culture shock was difficult. And then the third thing that was difficult was, I think, adjusting to the U.S. education system. It's completely different, and they like I don't know. Maybe it's masters, but maybe it's program. But it was hard to adjust, and then I think the last thing that was difficult was like homesickness. I was constantly calling my mom, my dad, my family, and I would like wake up early too because of time difference, you know. And that was like I didn't know. I thought I was separated enough, but it turns out I wasn't. So I was like constantly missing them. So these things are like hard, I think.
I think that's okay. You can't just not meet them.
Yeah, I think you just like have to wait. Give it time, and then you would probably adjust to these things.
Yeah, but what's the most valuable experience that you had there?
The most valuable, I think, what I got from the like living abroad or studying abroad is independence. Like it means like I have my own, like I have myself, and I can be independent enough to do whatever I want. But also I need to be conscious. Like I cannot do whatever I want. I need to think before doing, right? So you get like you become super serious, and you become an adult when you are like you have a lot of opportunities. You have your money, and then you are by yourself. You need to pay bills. So this makes you independent, but at the same time, it makes you a conscious adult, like who takes actions seriously. And that's what I'm still using here while in Kazakhstan, because here you have your parents by your side, and you have your friends, and you know, like you have people to rely on. But there, you're alone. You know, like, those smiling people wouldn't help you because you need to be strong enough.
That's scary.
Yeah. So I think that's the most valuable thing I learned there in the US. And also, I think financially, I became smarter because I knew that, like, you know how dollars and tenge are different.
Yeah.
So it would mean like I would spend more there than here, like in tenge. It would be a lot of money. So I wouldn't be able to ask anyone if I didn't have money. So I needed to count them, like every cent. I would like write down. So I spend this money on this, and I would need to have or save. So this kind of like financial education, I think what I got there as well in practice.
Yeah, that's really useful.
Yeah, true. I can use it here
and valuable.
Yeah, true.
Прямого переносного. Okay, I want to ask you, how do you apply knowledge and skills that you had there, that you got there, here in Kazakhstan?
I think what like the U.S. education system, why is it different than here, is that they ask you to think. Like they actually ask you to like say what you think about the idea or about the theory, and then you have to speak and say, you know?
Yeah.
While here, when I was studying at my previous like university where I got bachelor's, they would ask you just like to memorize things, you know? So that's what I learned in the US. When I really want to, like whenever I see something or read something, I would like, what I actually think about it. So that kind of like self-reflection, and also being free in what you say, and being free in your thoughts. I think this is what the thing that I try to apply here. So whenever I'm maybe teaching or talking to someone, I will always try to like ask people what their thoughts are, what their ideas are, or myself even, like if I don't like something, I would need to say that I don't like it, because otherwise we wouldn't develop, you know, like as human beings. So this is the most valuable thing. And before that, I also told you the financial education and independence. These are definitely what I'm using every day. And also taking risks. It's good to take risks, apparently. When you are, do you know, like when you are in a kind of like risky situation, you are more likely to grow as a person. So if you are feeling comfortable, if you are sitting at one place and you feel like everything is so fine, I think you're not growing. So every time I feel that, I think like I need to take a challenge so that I'm not, I don't know, not going down in terms of like I don't know, progress. So these are things that I learned, I think.
So we should fight with our phobias, with our we should challenge something.
Yeah, exactly. Like even small challenges, even if you can't go abroad, you can find challenges here. There are plenty of them. Start a new thing or go to I don't know, a new group of people and then try to like get friends there. So
Yeah,
that kind of
thank you very much. I hope it was really useful for you, and it was really useful for me.
Yeah, great. And it also
Yeah.
was fun for me as well. Great question. Thank you for asking me. It was great sharing my, I don't know, some sort of little experience that I have. Maybe it would be valuable for you as well. And you'll have a great listening while you listen to us.
Maybe you want to say some quote in conclusion?
That's a great question. Well, you know, I have this kind of silly quote that I always remembered while I was in the US. I had a lot of like struggling moments over there, at least for the first 3 months. So I was listening to this music. I think it was Katy Perry who sung it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But she said, like, that person said, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So whenever you are struggling with something, you should know that at least it's not killing you. You are not dying at that moment, you know? Like, maybe emotionally you feel like you are, but you are not. You're alive, you're feeling emotions, you're going through that process. And you should know that in the end, whatever outcome is going to be, at least you're going to become stronger person.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you survive in this world. You're strong enough. You're going to go through anything, any obstacle, it doesn't matter. So whenever you're struggling, remember, you're going to be stronger. So take that as a bonus. And then in the end, you would also like get something more valuable than just the strengths, maybe skills or knowledge. So this is the quote. It's a silly quote, but I really like it.
No, it's not silly. I think it's really like not smart, but
Yeah,
it's really like I think no, like жизнь.
yeah.
Жизнь.
It's really like life related. Like
Yeah,
you can relate to that. Just because it's simple. Yeah, I didn't quote any kind of like Nietzsche or any philosopher people works, but yeah, singer, why not?
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much as well. It was fun talking to you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Сейчас на русском лучше